Hey guys, I hope you all been having a great day. So EastIdahoNews.com just put up an article and a video about a local woman who spent time with Lori Vallow Daybell in the Madison County Jail, and she's sharing details about the experience for the first time. The woman who asked EastIdahoNews.com not to use her real name for safety reasons in this story, so they're going to refer to her as Melissa Cook. Now, Madison County Jail officials confirm Cook was incarcerated on a parole violation at the time Lori was booked. Cook was later sent to another correctional facility until she was released from custody. Cook visited with EastIdahoNews.com for 2 hours last week and provided notes she kept while behind bars in Madison County. The notes detailed conversations Cook allegedly had with Lori. During the time they were both incarcerated, Lori spoke with her new husband, Chad Daybell, and her son, Colby Ryan. Cook overheard parts of those conversations from her adjacent cell. Cook also showed us a text message conversation she had with Lori Vallow days ago through a phone app that allows people to communicate with inmates. Lori remains in the Madison County Jail on a $1 million bail on 2 felony counts of conspiracy to commit destruction, altercation, or concealment of evidence. She is scheduled to be arraigned Thursday. So now we're going to read about this inmate meeting Lori Vallow. While Cook was incarcerated in Madison County this spring, she was placed in disciplinary lockdown between March 4th to the 8th for breaking jail rules. Deputies moved her into a segregated pod, which contained 2 cells. Everybody in the jail was talking about how Lori was coming back from Hawaii, and we wondered if we'd be able to see her, Cook says. So I'm sitting in the pod, and in walks 2 or 3 guards with her. They were very nice, and she was nice. She walked in with her stripes on, but she also had a bulletproof vest on. I had never seen another inmate like that. Lori arrived in Rexburg Thursday, March 5th from Hawaii, where she had been arrested on 2 counts of desertion and non-support of a dependent child. Her children, Joshua J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, had been missing since September 2019, and Lori refused to cooperate with law enforcement. Jail officials confirmed to EastIdahoNews.com that Cook and Lori Vallow were in a pod together for 4 days. They had their own private cells, but were able to walk into the pod and watch TV, read books, make phone calls, or talk with each other. I made it a point not to ask about her kids. I wanted to gain her trust and see if she would tell me anything, Cook recalls. I'd been judged unfairly for one of my crimes and turned inside out for something it wasn't. I couldn't imagine feeling what she was feeling when she got there. Lori was upbeat and friendly, according to Cook. She never showed any sign of heartache, never cried, didn't appear to be disappointed, and opened up about how glad she was to no longer be in the Kauai Community Correctional Center. She said the jail in Hawaii was so bad. There were roaches on the floor, and it was awful. She kept saying how nice Madison was compared to that, and how amazing the food was here, Cook says. Now we're going to read about when Lori was going to court after she got back from Hawaii. First appearance. The day after Lori was booked, she was scheduled for her initial appearance in Madison County. Media outlets from across the country were huddled outside the courthouse. Hundreds of people showed up hoping to catch a glimpse of the accused criminal. She was totally aware of it all, she said. We have the death of Kobe Bryant and COVID, but no, there's me. I'm the lead story. I'm more important than all that stuff, Cook tells EastIdahoNews.com. She knew she was the main story and she liked it. Lori was proud to show off her blue toenail polish, but complained about her dry skin and was worried about how she would look during the hearing. Cook gave her some lotion, deodorant, and makeup she had purchased from the commissary. Many inmates also used Jolly Rancher candies and colored pencils for lipstick or eyeshadow. So she comes to the door and she has on this bright pink lipstick. She said, "How does it look?" I hesitantly paused and said, "Oh, you look good," Cook recalls. I gave her some tips and said she could use a regular lead pencil to draw in her eyebrows and helped her get ready for court. Cook says Lori knew how big of a deal the hearing was and looked forward to it. When she returned to her jail cell hours later, she wanted Cook to watch the news with her. As the news came on, she said, "Here it comes. Here's my story. Turn it up. Let's see what they say about me now," Cook recalls. Jesus. Bail and phone calls is the next part. Magistrate Judge Farron Edens set Daybell's bail at 1 million. She was determined to get out of jail and met with her attorneys for hours daily to see if she could come up with the money. Every day she's going out with her lawyers, and I'd say, "Are you bonding out?" She would say, "I hope so," Cook says. I remember before one of those meetings, she ran her fingers from her head down her body and said, "We'll see if all this is worth $1 million." Wow. When Daybell, oh, excuse me, when Lori, I refuse to call her Daybell, guys, because she wants us to. Her name's Lori Vallow here on this channel. When Lori Vallow wasn't with her attorneys, she was likely talking on the phone or having video chats with Chad or Colby, her son. Lori would sometimes wear earbuds, so Cook could not hear what was being said to Chad, but she listened to Lori's words and took notes. She talked on the phone with her son literally almost 2 days straight. After the big entrance at her arraignment, she got on the phone with her son and said, "I didn't see you in the courtroom. There were just so many people," Cook says. "He kept saying, 'Mom, where are JJ and Tylee? Why won't you tell us? What's going on?'" Cook never heard Lori discuss where her missing kids could be. Rather, she would talk about memories from the past or ask Colby to show her his baby. When Colby became frustrated that his mom was not cooperating, Cook says that she would tell him to read the scriptures. She told Colby to read Job, a book in the Old Testament, and he would understand. She said he was being she said she was being tested like Job, Cook says. She would say, "Colby, just listen to me. Everybody wants to know, but it's none of their business. God doesn't judge me, and they shouldn't judge me. The prophet says to stay off social media, so don't go on there." God, the nerve of this woman. Cook describes Lori's calls with Chad as nauseating. Lori wanted affection and reassurance from her husband that he loved her, and she always made sure she looked good if they communicated through video. Here's how life in jail is for Miss Lori Vallow. The day begins at the Madison County Jail with the standing head count around 7 a.m. Breakfast is served and inmates must then complete chores. You're given a bucket with cleaning supplies and you have to clean. Everything is metal, so you spray things down, scrub the shower, scrub the floor. It's awful, Cook says. Lunch arrives around 11:30 a.m. and inmates are given an hour of outdoor activity. Dinner is served at 5 and everyone must be in their cells by 11 p.m. One of the cells. Lori never spoke to Cook about religion, but spent her free time reading scriptures and praying. I told her one thing that's going to keep her sane in here is if she reads her scriptures every night. Cook says, I said the only comfort she's going to get is to pray. And all the time they spent together, Lori never discussed JJ or Tylee. Cook believed they were safe and never imagined their remains would be found buried on Chad Daybell's property on June 9th. I thought the kids were alive. I really did. I thought they had them in a polygamy compound and they were there working while she and Chad went to Hawaii to live their lives, Cook says. After 4 days, deputies came to the pod and told Cook she was being moved so Lori could be by herself. They hugged each other, and Lori said she was sad to see her go. A few weeks later, Cook was transferred to another facility. When she was released in August, Cook sent Lori a text message through Getting Out, an app used to communicate with inmates. Lori responded, "How are you doing? I've been praying for you. I'd love to visit with you. I'll schedule you in later today. Hopefully that will work." Cook has not heard back from Lori since that day, but hopes to communicate with her again. She says all the inmates in the jail are following the case closely. I think she will turn against Chad. If she's as vindictive as she is, those kids were buried on his land and at his house. I would turn on him to save my own ass, Cook says. Cook says it isn't her place to say what she believes should happen to Lori, but she remembers one thing her old podmate repeatedly said throughout their time together: everything has a purpose. God has a plan for everyone. His plan will be accomplished. Cook remembers Lori Vallow saying. Wow, guys. Well, it really doesn't surprise me that she's that conceited. All this woman was worrying about was the media attention and how she looked. You could care less about her kids. That's obvious. I believe she was right in on the murder of the two kids, of course. I mean, I don't think a jury would buy that, the story that she thought Chad took them to a safe house. I know I'm not buying that story. Alex Cox pinged on Chad Daybell's property his phone, right in the locations of where the body was found. Alex was very close to his sister Lori. He would have done anything for her. I think he was involved in the murders. I really do. I think they got him to kill the kids. Lori definitely got him to kill her ex, Charles Vallow. That was not self defense. Anyways, guys, I know this is hearsay, but I believe it. Nothing surprises me when it comes to Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. They're cold hearted monsters, psychos. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Let me know below in the comments what you think about this, and we will discuss this further in the morning when we do our crime and coffee. Anyways, have a great evening. Be safe, be kind. Peace.